Welcome back to Windowsill Gardening. It's been 3 weeks since we planted all of these vegetable seeds and flower seeds, and my green beans have grown significantly, and as you can see, the seed is getting moldy even. So let's start this episode by transplanting it. The green bean seedling has gotten quite big. However, the roots are not showing on the bottom of the container yet. Despite the roots not showing, I think it's time to put it in a bigger pot so it can grow a little bit more. As you can see, there's 2 actual leaves that have formed, and there's more on their way. There are more on their way. I got this metal bucket and I made holes in the bottom of it, so now I can use it as a flower pot. I'm using a empty yogurt cup that I will later also use as a pot because I've just been buying pots and soil all week. So far, I've used 80 liters of soil. I'm not sure how much gallon of soil that is, but 80 liters, so about 4 of these big bags of soil. I'm sure there's many more to come. It has been a while since I uploaded a video. I started a new job last week, or 2 weeks ago rather, so I had less time than I wanted to spend on gardening. All of my seeds have recently sprouted, so these were probably the 2 weeks that we were gardening with me. Yeah, like I said, I started a new job, so in this video we'll quickly go over everything that happened over the past 2 weeks. So I filled this bucket with soil, and now I'm just adding some water to get the soil to moisten up a little bit. And now let's remove the seedling from its container. Here we go, the green beans. First, take out the card, and then I'll make sure the container is nice and wet because it makes it easier to peel off. Now, I do prefer these cardboard coconut, natural containers to grow my seeds in. They are easy to peel off, and as we saw when transplanting my big Zanzibar, you don't have to squeeze the container to get the seed or the plant out of the container. This is the seed that got moldy, so it's a good thing we're transplanting it right now, or it might have infected the roots of the seedling. And here is the seedling and the roots in and of itself. I'm just going to mix up the wet soil on top and work it into the underlying layer of soil. Now I'm just going to put the seedling right in the middle of the pot. Right now it seems like the pot is way too big for just a small seedling like this, but I'm sure my green beans are going to grow up nice and strong, so it will need as big a pot as this one. Here we go, it was just one seedling, so transplanting was quite an easy task. Here are my other plants after 3 weeks, so everything everything germinated last week. Here's the green beans in its own big pot in the windowsill. I'll get a trellis for that one. And then here's my pumpkin and phacelia seedlings. And okay, you can call me crazy, but aren't these seedlings way too similar to be a different brand? I'm not sure if the supermarket or I even got the seeds mixed up. Phacelia and pumpkin both starting with a P, so that might be the reason why they might have gotten mixed up, but I am not sure if there's any difference between all these seeds. We'll see. Anyway, these are my snow peas. I had 3 snow pea seeds and they all germinated within a week. And now we'll be transplanting them 1 week after they germinated because they are getting too big. And they are starting to want to hang on to, well, anything for support, so we'll get a trellis for them as well. First, we're making sure the soil is nice and soaked. Now, these will be a little bit harder to transplant compared to the green beans because green beans was just 1 seed in 1 container and these are 3 seeds in 1 container, so we'll have to separate them first. And this is going to be hard because I waited way too long with transplanting these snow peas, and in a minute you'll see why. The roots are just all tangled up and I have to start ripping them apart, and I'm not looking forward to that. The roots have also started to grow through the container, making it extra difficult for me to get them to come apart. Again, it has been 2 weeks since the previous video. We'll go to the footage of week 4 in a bit. This is still week 3. In the weekend between week 3 and week 4, since I planted the seeds, I unexpectedly went away for 2 days. I stayed the night at a different place, and because I hadn't planned on doing so, I had no time to water the seedlings that day, so some of the plants you see in this half of the video you will not see in the latter half, or at least won't see it very alive in the latter part of this video. But for now, let's focus on these green beans. They are giving me such a hard time. I'm sorry it's not on the video very well, but I have to keep it very close to my face in order to remove the container carefully from the roots of these plants. Now with the green beans, I've removed the initial seed because it had gotten moldy, and you can still see the seeds or the shells of the seeds, if you will, attached to these green or snow peas. Now these have not gone moldy yet, so I'll just plant the entire thing together because I'm already having a lot of trouble just removing the container from the roots. I don't want to touch the roots any more than I have to, so the seeds are just going to be buried with the entirety of the plants. Alright, finally they are starting to come apart, but oh my gosh, would you look at this mess? I have made a mess. Alright, well, one step at a time. You'll notice me having cut up this part of the video quite a bit. That's because it took quite a long time to separate these individual seedlings from each other from the container. I think this part of the video, me just transplanting these snow peas, I think it was 20 minutes. So that's about how much I cut out. I'm surprised with how little of a mess I made this time, because in the previous videos when I was transplanting, well, the first plant, the Zanzibar, it was just one big mess, and my white floor turned black from all of the soil that spilled everywhere, and I couldn't get it out of the container to begin with. And now with the green beans and these snow peas too, my kitchen is relatively clean. My hands are dirtier because I'm using more water to moisten the soil before and during transplanting. But I have definitely learned from previous experiences, and I think I'm getting better at transplanting. I'm getting worse at timing transplantations, but you can only have so much going for you. So here we go, the 3 snow pea seedlings have been put into this big container. I am praying, fingers crossed, that this container is big enough for the 3 of them. So I'm going to wash my hands and then construct some sort of trellis. I got a really cute trellises at the shop for cheap, so I'll be using those. I'll show you in a minute. So now for week 4 of windowsill gardening. Can you believe how big my green beans have gotten in just 1 week? Then here's my radishes. They're doing great as well. These needed a bigger container. I didn't take transplanting them, but you remember the snow peas, and this is the trellis that I got. So all the plants in this most bright windowsill, I think this is the windowsill that gets the most sunlight, they are all doing well. And then over here, look, well, these didn't survive the weekend that I was away. My dill, my poppies, my oregano, and then the phacelia, they all got way too dry. They dried up. The weather was really nice that one weekend, of course. Here's the lettuce. It got pretty shriveled, but I think it's rebounding better than the other ones. Here's the pepper seeds, the red pepper seeds that I grew from just a store-bought pepper, and they're doing great. And then here is my cabbage. I'm using a mushroom container because I am running out of pots. And here it's my cornflower. I put 2 seeds in this pot. There were only 2 seedlings. More pepper. I am just using every container I can find right now. Chives are doing okay. They're a little shriveled up as well, but they are bouncing back. I think here's the pumpkin. Now, for some reason, although the seedlings were quite similar, the pumpkin and phacelia, these pumpkins are doing okay. And then here's my carrots. Here's more radishes. And then behind that, there's my zucchini. It's getting long and weak, and that's probably not a good sign. I'm wondering if I should find something to support it. I think it's the lack of sunlight in these north-facing windows. And then here's the last windowsill. There's more zucchini, also not looking great, to be honest. I'm wondering if maybe I should just poke a chopstick in the soil and try and support it. Here's the buckwheat. They're doing okay, going strong. And then between the 2 of those are more buckwheat, more lettuce, and I think those are 2 more carrots. I'm not sure. I'll have to check the label later. I think I lost the label for that one, but I'll have a look and see if I can find it. And that's it for the update. Again, this windowsill, on the far right of my apartment is getting the most sun and it's doing great. But we'll see how they do it or how all the plants are doing next week.